afternoon. Welcome to Players in Exile. My name is Phil. I have been made aware recently that there's been some surprise, shall we say, at the price of certain new products that Games Workshop have released for Warhammer 40,000. And I thought I would give my thoughts on the situation. So the two new sets are called Honoured of the Chapter and The Return of Necron Royalty. And unless you haven't been paying attention over the last sort of 6 months to a year, these are both out of the Indomitus box that was released not so long ago, which was obviously a sort of a limited edition. Wasn't the starter set, it was a limited sort of special edition that most people probably would have got their hands on. And if I understand it correctly, these are single sprues in each case out of that set. And I think it's because they are single sprues out of that set that people are pricing it or looking at the prices and looking at that set and looking at the price of that set and saying, hold on a second, these are really expensive in comparison. However, these effectively are victims of Games Workshop's, victims is the wrong word, but it's because of the way Games Workshop prices things. At the bottom here, we've got the starter sets, quite interestingly, and the starter sets are priced to get you into the game. These sets are priced along the lines of other miniatures that are available that are similar. So if we have a look at these, let's have a look at Honoured the Chapter first, and then we'll have a look at the Return of the Necron Royalty, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the matter. So Honoured of the Chapter provides us with 3 characters and what are effectively 2 squads. The exact contents, if we scroll right down here, the exact contents are 1 Primaris Chaplain, 1 Justiciar, 1 Blade Guard Ancient, 3 Blade Guard Veterans, and 3 Eradicators. So there's a Justiciar, however you say his name. There's the Chaplain. There's the Ancient. These are the Blade Guard Veterans here, here, and here, and these are the Eradicators here. It's not a bad little set of miniatures, to be perfectly honest with you, especially the Blade Guard Ancients. But let's have a look at the pricing of some of these miniatures independently. Blade Guard Veterans, actually not available. Now, this is a multi-part kit, not a push-to-fit kit, so we need to adjust for that. But the Blade Guard Veterans are $31.50 as a multi-part kit. I don't think Games Workshop sells any ETB, easy to build, sets from the previous outing anymore. So it's very hard to compare pricing. But let's bear that in mind, and then I'll talk about pricing a little bit towards the end. Equally, again, it's a multi-part kit, but equally the Primaris Eradicators, again, come in at $31.50. Now, the Primaris Chaplain, $22.50. All of the Primaris characters, so the Captain in Phobos armor, the Apothecary, the Librarian, the Captain, the Tech Marine, all the Primaris characters, except the Tech Marine. Actually, Tech Marine is $23.50. It's a little bit more pricey, but they're mainly $22.50. So I don't think it is a hard stretch to say that all 3 characters in this set would also be $22.50. If we just go back a moment to the original, one thing I didn't mention is this set is retailing at £89. So that's what basically has people up in arms. Is that is quite a high price for this, given the price of Indomitus. But as I say, 3 Blade Guard Veterans, if you bought them separately, would cost you $31.50. 3 Primaris Eradicators, if you bought them separately, they would cost you $31.50. Primaris Chaplain, I've got one of them, $22.50. Captain in Phobos armor, Apothecary, Librarian, Standard Captain, Tech Marine, they're all the same sort of price. The Justiciar pretty much is another Chaplain, really, let's be honest. He's got a slightly different role, but he's still part of that same order. So $22.50 for him. And the Blade Guard Ancient, you can't argue more than $22.50 for that as well. So as I say, we'll look at the way the prices actually stack up right at the end. Now let's have a look at the Necron's Royal Court, and I'm a little less of a fan of this one, I'll be honest with you. What you get in here is the Canoptic Reanimator, the Scorpec Destroyer Lord, the Plasmancer, and I cannot remember what they're called. Plasmasize, are they? Oh, Crypto Thralls. Crypto Thralls. So you've got the Plasmancer, pair of Crypto Thralls, the Scorpec Destroyer Lord, and the Canoptic Reanimator. Now, this is a slightly harder set to compare against. We do have the Hexmark Destroyer, who is £21, and I think he's very, very similar to the Destroyer Lord, so we can make a reasonable comparison there. We had the Psychomancer, which I think would be comparable to the Plasmancer, so we can make a reasonable comparison there. Then we get to the Canoptic Doomstalker. This is the closest to the Reanimator that you can get separately. I think this is probably a bit of a bigger kit, slightly larger. I'm pretty sure it stands taller, and that gun has got to be more significant than the weaponry on the Canoptic Reanimator. So I do think at 2650 this is possibly just a little bit more expensive than the Reanimator would be separately. Now, the last we've got are these two little guys down here. I keep forgetting their names. They're Crypto Thralls. The Crypto Thralls. You can't buy Crypto Thralls separately. Death Buckets, I think we used to call them. Murder Buckets. Was it Murder Buckets they called them? The Murder Buckets. So what I've done is I've gone to try and find something similar. And the best things I could find are flayed ones. And flayed ones for 5 at the moment are 27.50. Now I'm aware that there's a new flayed one set of 5 coming out, but that's part of the new Kill Team set, and so they're not going to be available separately. So I've used this as a base price. So here's what I've done. I've sat down and I've looked at the Space Marines and I've looked at what's available. So we get a Primaris Chaplain. Actually, I'll put 21.50. They're 22.50. I've undersold this. The Judicia, again, 22.50, and the Blade Guard Ancient, 22.50. There we go. Now the Blade Guard Veterans, because there'll be an ETB kit, I've priced them down to £25 because I think that's roughly what the ETB kits similarly were priced at before. And the Eradicators I've also put down to £25. Now, if the ETB kits were slightly more expensive before, obviously you could put that up, but that's the price I've used. I've tried to take that into account and not put them at the £31.50 mark that the multi-part kits sell at. So individually, if you were to buy this individually at retail, at Games Workshop standard retail prices, you'd end up paying £117.50. The set itself costs £89. That gives you a saving of £28.50, which I don't think is inconsiderable. If you live in the UK and you get retail discount applied to everything you buy, which most of us will do, we'll get that 20% off. The retail goes down to £71.20, which means the saving creeps up to £46.30. So there is a significant saving to be made there over what they would normally be priced. So I don't think that Games Workshop have overpriced this. I think they've just, personally, I think they've released it too early. I think they should have released these maybe in 4, 5, 6 months' time, when Indomitus was way out of stock and history, and then they could start releasing individual sprues and pricing them. I think the problem is that Indomitus is too fresh in the memory. Too many people probably have a copy, and therefore it's a little bit surprising to see something that's priced at this much, given what Indomitus retailed for. Then on the Necron side, the Scorpec Lord I've priced at £21. The Canoptic Reanimator I've put at 25, and I was umming at this. The Destroyer is 26.50, so I've knocked a little bit off. I wasn't sure whether to go any further, but if I go any further, it gets to the point where it's as cheap as character models. And if I recall correctly, the ETB Dreadnought was about 25 from the old set. I can't remember exactly, but I've left it at 25. I don't think that's unreasonable. Plasmancer, I've put at 21. And then the Crypto Thralls, what I've done is I've taken 2750, divided it by 5 and multiplied it by 2 and ended up with 11 quid. Which I don't think also is particularly an unreasonable way to price it based on the cost of 5 flayed ones. Although the new flayed one set's probably going to be a lot more expensive when it eventually comes out, when it's no longer, well, when they release it individually or separately to the Kill Team box that's just coming out. Individually retail, £78. Retail price £68. Not a huge saving there, in all honesty. £10. Bit meh, quite frankly. Especially if you don't want some of the contents. On the Space Marine side, all of these are really, really useful. And even if they're not, they've probably got resale value. And so you're probably, not only are you saving money, if you don't want any of those miniatures, you can probably pass them on. Over on the other side, the Necron set just seems to be a little bit odd. There's the Scorpec Lord, yes, he's good, but you'll probably need Scorpec Destroyers alongside him. The Canoptic Reanimator, whether that's any good is arguable. I think most people accept that it's not, but its points cost came down. So it's, I think, at the point now where perhaps it's playable. I don't play hugely competitively, so I'm only going by what I've actually seen on the YouTube vids. So whether that's any good or not, I don't know. I mean, I've got a couple, they're assembled. I haven't painted them. I've painted 2 lots of the Necron sets from Indomitus, and yet my Canoptic Reanimators lie still grey. Plasmancer, yeah, he could be useful, but I'm not sure he's the most useful of the 3 Mancers either. Although one of them, again, is only available in that Kill Team box set, which I will do another video about at some point. And then the Crypto Thralls, which are useful for protecting him, are, £11. Retail, if you get your retail discount, perhaps you'll be paying about £54, £55 for it. So it's giving you a saving of about £23, which is probably a model. I don't think this Necron set is very good. I genuinely don't. I don't think it's got anything to scream about in it. I don't think it's priced competitively. I think you make a very little saving. I think the Space Marine set on the other side, I think they've released it too soon, but I do think it's priced. It's well priced. If you get it for the retail and the discount, I think you're getting a lot for your money. That is a good set of miniatures. I think that's going to be this one. This I don't think is. And I know this is cheaper, and you get a bigger model, but this isn't like a Redemptor Dreadnought, is it? Let's be honest. He's great. The Plasmats are so-so, and the Crypto Thralls, well, you need them to protect the Plasmats, so whether you play with them or not, it's up to you. Yeah, I'm just not convinced by this at all whatsoever. So those are my thoughts. Too early, really. So it's too easy to compare it with what's gone before. Untitled Chapter, I think actually is probably worth it if you've not got Indomitus and you can't find a set of Indomitus. Then I think that's probably worth it. The Return of Necron royalty, absolutely not. Don't think it's worth it. I think you could probably get those separately. I think you could get them for better value. Steer well clear. So those are my thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Phil. This is Players in Exile. I'll catch you next time.